So I'm hoping that today also we're going to have a very, very good opportunity in the markets. Anyway, I'm welcoming everybody officially to this morning program. Today is Wednesday, 3rd of December 2025. I can already see Amici in the house. I can see Awal in the house, Mr. Humphrey. I see Michael Vincent, um, Okonowu, if I get that correctly. Sheson, I can also see you in the house. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Olutayo. I see you. Pauline, I see you. Pulenk, I see you. Thank you so very much, Mr. Gilbert. I see you. I see you. All right. So today, Monday was fantastic, guys. Monday was fantastic. It was really, really fantastic. We were able to really, really milk the market. Monday, in case you've forgotten, we took trades on USD JPY, GBP USD, Nasdaq, and I think gold. Gold was the only one maybe we didn't enter immediately, if I'm remembering correctly. But I know we did GBP USD buy limit, if you remember. We did USD JPY. I was telling you that price was going to sell, and price did exactly. Nasdaq price was going to go up. It did exactly what I said, what we analyzed, and what we were actually expecting. All right, so today is another day, and I'm hoping that we're going to get some very, very good opportunities in the market for us to really, really take advantage of what price is actually doing today. All right, the first thing I want us to quickly look at, although we've looked at it on Monday, but I just want us to pay attention to it again today, is that we have some fundamentals coming out today. I think one for dollar. Let me quickly confirm. I think one is coming out for dollar. I think if I'm remembering correctly, we have this, is this no, ADP non-farm employment change, yeah, by 215 for the dollar. All right, so guys, you want to pay attention to that. By 215 for the dollar, we're going to be having ADP non-farm employment change. Then we are also going to be having ISM PMI. That's happening today. Let me confirm. Yeah, ISM PMI by 4 o'clock. By 4 o'clock. So 2:15 and then 4 o'clock. So 2:15 is ADP non-farm employment change. 4 o'clock we have ISM PMI, right? Then other minor news that's going to be happening today that you need to pay attention to is that President Trump is also going to be speaking by 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time today. So tomorrow is going to be volatile. Tomorrow is going to be crazy, right? Because I don't know what Trump wants to talk about, but if he mentions anything that has to do with the sensitive situations right now in the United States, in terms of the economy, in terms of the status of the government, you know, it's going to be really, really, there's going to be a lot of volatility in the market. Then there's the issue with the Epstein file also, which is a major thing in the United States right now, and might possibly, well, I really doubt it, because I mean, we knew all the indictments that was against Trump before the presidency election, right? And personally, I didn't believe, or I didn't think that with all the indictments and cases I had, that it was going to come to pass. So he's a very controversial person, right? So if when you have a president who's the president of the top country, or the number one country in the world, who is now controversial, then you will know that things will not be normal. That's why we've been seeing a lot of volatility since last year. A lot of unusual things has been happening in the market, and we're still going to continue seeing this until there is probably a change of power, which is not going to be happening anytime soon. So it's something that you want to pay attention to. Then moving on to Thursday by 2:30. Yeah, so I was confusing Thursday for Wednesday. 2:30 on Thursday, we have unemployment claim. So unemployment claim I was talking about was Thursday by 2:30, which is tomorrow. All right, then Friday is packed with a lot of news from 2:30 down to 4 o'clock, packed. For Canadian dollar to USD, packed. Right, so we have unemployment change and unemployment rates by 2:30 for Canadian dollar. Then by 4 o'clock, we have core PCE price index. We have prelim University of Michigan consumer sentiment, prelim University of Michigan inflation expectation. So there's a lot there's a lot packed already on Friday, packed for Friday already. So you need to pay attention to that. Then, like I said, on Thursday, unemployment claims, right? 230. So today we are focusing on just 2:15 ADP non-farm employment change, and 4 o'clock ISM service PMI. All right, so that's the only major. The other major news have happened already. That's for the Australian dollar and the Swiss francs. They've already happened this morning. So the only major ones that we have left are the ones for 2:15 and by 4. All right, so that gives us some room to be able to actually take some trades without really being too scared of the market. However, today I want us to do something very quickly, like we did some months, some weeks ago. Guys, I don't want to analyze any market this morning, right? I want us to tell me, I want you to choose. We're going to be looking at 4 instruments, just 4. So first come, first serve. I want you to choose which instrument you want us to look at this morning. I'm going to be giving us 2 to 3 minutes to actually do that. And then we're going to analyze those instruments together. Then I'm also going to be taking some I'm going to be asking some questions. I'm going to be throwing it out to the house. I'm going to be bringing in some people to actually speak this morning, so I can just call anybody. Like, you know, I know that there are a lot of us here who are traders, that people who are very experienced. So I'm just going to be picking and, okay, what do you think about this analysis? What's your own view about this instrument? So before I even analyze at all, get your view. So maybe just 1 or 2, so that it doesn't just be me. It's not just me speaking. So I have a lot of people here already in the house. So we're just going to be picking. And if you want to volunteer to actually speak, remember this is actually going to be live. It's recorded. It's being recorded live, and it's also going to be uploaded on YouTube. So it's a fantastic platform that I'm going to give everyone this morning. So I don't just like the fact that they want speaking. All right. So quick announcement while we're doing that. So please, guys, drop in what you would like us to look at this morning. If you have is whatever instrument you like us to look at. The first 4 is what we're going to be analyzing, and I'm also going to be getting. Before we analyze it, I'm going to be asking for some input from some of us. And like I said, if you want to volunteer to actually speak, even without me calling you, why not? You can just put up your hands using the emoji, and then I'll reach out to you. All right, so quick announcement. We're supposed to have the advanced class this Thursday, tomorrow. The secret of consistency. But we're going to be moving it up a little bit. The reason is because we're still working on our YouTube page. We are still integrating our YouTube page to to be able to do more. All right, so that we can capture a lot of data. So for now, we still have to shift it till next week. Hopefully before next week, the YouTube page would have been fully set up and fully integrated with our system, so that we can capture more data and have very good ways of evaluating every conference. Every webinar that we're going to be having on YouTube, because we want to move this whole thing to YouTube very soon, so that we can have more people join, we can have new people come in, can begin to increase our reach, increase our popularity. So you can even invite your friends for the program. It's free. And then when they come, they like what they see. They're able to see people making money. It's free. For example, I don't know how many of you are following this Nigerian guy. I don't want to mention names, but the guy came some months ago to talk a lot of things about forex influencers and all that in Nigeria, and how people are selling courses and all that and all that and all that. And today, just is it yesterday or day before yesterday, I saw a video where he himself was also trying to sell a course, So when it comes to this business, you will hardly see somebody who's experienced, like you have here in EBC, who are actually giving you all these things for free. You would hardly see. And if they give you for free, most times it's not always, it's not valuable. You would hardly see. So I think it's a very good thing we're doing here, and something that's going to benefit. There's somebody somewhere in Nigeria right now who is struggling with this business, who doesn't know how to go about it. Having a platform like this can help us to having a platform like this can help us to reach out to them and give them. I remember during my time, there was nobody to actually put me through. All right, I had to learn all these things myself, made a lot of mistakes. Okay, so that's the option. That's what we're trying to drive. So hopefully, we're able to achieve that. objective. All right, so do we have any instruments in mind? Still waiting for our feedback. Any instrument you would like us to look at? We just have 1 more minute to go. All right, so I have gold as number 1 from Mr. Olutayo. Thank you so very much for your feedback. I have gold. I think gold is always like always like a major thing. All right, I have USDJPY from Mr. Jonathan. So Jonathan, you can only pick one, no? So you're attending to. All right, I have DE30 from Puleng. DE30. All right. I need 1 more. I already have 3. I already have gold, USDPY, DE30. I need 1 more. I need 1 more. All right, let's have 1 more, guys. 1 more. Mr. Humphrey, would you like to? Do you have any instruments you'd like us to look at? Okay, I think I have my 1 more from Mr. Gilbert, GBP USD. All right, so guys, we have gold, USDPY, DE30, and pounds USD. So let's start with gold. Now, the price of gold, as like I told you, I've been saying it. I told you that this was not a downward trend. This was just a pullback, and you can see price already going up, moving towards this particular point. Now, the thing about this is I feel that the price of gold might pull back down. I feel. The reason why I'm feeling this way, the reason why I'm having this very strong conviction is because if you look at this movement, this was very massive. So we saw this great, so guys, follow me, right? So we saw this great push on the price of gold, right? We saw this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 massive daily candles pushing to the upside. Okay, so for example, let me do this. Let me just quickly share. Let me just quickly put in a support and resistance, because I don't want to start drawing lines. Great. So you see this. So we saw this push to the upside, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down to this untested level of resistance, which was around I think this was the highest high at that period of time, $4,380.42 per ounce of gold, right? And then we saw this push to the back. We saw price pushing back to this point, right? Now, if you are using if Fibonacci from this swing low to this swing high, we discover that this push to that particular point. Let's quickly set this properly. You discover that the push to that particular point. Yeah. So the push to that particular point was actually sitting around the 38.2 region, right? Which looks great. But this is my problem. This is where I'm having an issue right now. This is where I'm having an issue. You see this candle, this Marubuzu red that came from this particular point is called an institutional candle. This is an institutional candle, right? Most of the times, this is a candle reaction that came from institutional trading, right? So we saw a massive push side, and then price is approaching the close. It's approaching the open rather of this particular candle before we saw this massive candle, right? So anytime this happens, there's always a massive rejection. We have seen this happen the first time. We have seen it happen the second time. This is a classic double top, which should actually give us some very, very good momentum to the downside. But the problem I'm having is that this is still an upward trend, and we don't know if it's going to be a reversal yet. That's the problem I'm having. However, we need to pay attention. It's going to be highly unlikely for price to push up here right now, because there is no fundamental to back it up. There is nothing on ground to back gold going back to 4,380 right now. All right, there's nothing on ground. The only thing we have are not really strong enough to push price that far, because anything that would make this thing to push back to this point is prepared to break it. So there are 2 things that could happen, or let's say 3 things that could happen. The first scenario is that we're going to continue to see a consolidation right now. So the first thing that's going to happen is we might begin to see a consolidation around this point, around these 2 points, around these 2 zones. We might begin to see price just consolidating around this point, and then waiting for the next fundamental for a breakout, either a breakout to the upside, which eventually breaks and gives us a new higher high, a new record high, right? Or we see a breakout to the downside, which invariably comes back to retest this 38.2, possibly breaks it to get to the 50 period. And if that happens, we might see some steady pullback to 61.8. All right. We might see some steady pullback to 61.8. But right now, speaking today, we are seeing, we could possibly see some level of consolidation, price pushing back to this point, pushing back up, pushing until we see a major breakout, right? And this is happening on the daily time frame. Don't forget, this is happening on the daily time frame, which is a big thing when you're taking your trade from the 5 minutes time frame. So right now, I'm expecting some pullback. I have seen a bullish hanging man. This is a bullish hanging man. If you don't know what that means, it means we are seeing a hammer around the resistance. Hammer should be on the support, not a resistance. So anytime you see a hammer hanging from a resistance, we call it a hanging man, not a hammer. Okay, so this is the support. If we are seeing this hammer sitting on these levels of support, let me look for an example right now. Can I get a very good example? Do I have, okay, well, this is not really a classic example, so to say, but I'm looking for, this is a very good example. This is a hammer sitting on a very good support here, and we can see how price pushed, right? So most of the times when you see this hammer now around the resistance, it tells you that price actually wants to come down. You can see this guy. This guy was hanging, this is a hanging man, this is a hanging man. It's a hanging men, right? It's a hanging men. All right. And we see price pushing down. So anytime you see this happening, it tells you that price is about to push down. Now, don't forget, before we saw this hanging man, we also saw a doji. So there was an evening star here. This is a classic. These three candles you're looking at now is a classic reversal pattern. It's a classic reversal pattern. It's a classic reversal candle. Reversal candle formation, right? So we saw this Marubozu green, we saw this evening star approaching after price. The Marubozu green approached with a very high volatility, approached the resistance. We saw the doji, which is the evening star, signaling a sell, and then we saw the hanging man. And right now we are seeing the formation of a bearish pin bar. So it just gives us that vibe that price is about to push down. Although we are seeing an upward trend, which is the reason why I said we might possibly see some level of consolidation between these two major points right now. You know, price comes here, push back here, comes back until we see something major, like the news that's coming out today. You know, could actually push price tomorrow. You know, and then remember, Donald Trump is also speaking by this evening too. Is it by this evening or tomorrow evening? Let me quickly confirm that. So there's a lot of things that is happening right now, and you want to actually pay attention to it. All right, so Donald Trump is speaking by 8:30 today, so it could also be something that, you know, could trigger, mostly if it has to do with anything fiscal policies, it could really trigger the price of gold to break out to the upside, and then of course giving us a new record high. Anyway, that being said, I want to quickly go to the 4-hour time frame to really look at where price is and where I can enter my trade, right? So on the 4-hour time frame, we have saw this liquidity sweep. You see price taking out this high. You see it. So people who have their buy stop order here has been taken, and price right now, I'm very sure, has almost taken them out. And we are seeing price going back to that particular point again, and obviously should begin to see price dropping from that zone based on what we have been able to analyze. So we saw this false breakout, push back into the zone, and price pushing back to that point to give us a second retest, and we are seeing price, you know, trying to push away from that point right now. So what I want to do is I want to go to a lower time frame, like the 5 minutes time frame, to really pinpoint what price is actually doing. And on the 5 minutes time frame, you can see that already I have 2 pinpoints. I have this level, I have this level, right? So this is a weak verified resistance, weak support. Weak support means it can easily be broken at any time. Well, there are 2 things to do. The problem is I don't want to, if I take my trade right now, let's assume I take a sell trade right now based on this movement. I need to put my stop loss way above here, which is about 138 pips away. Normally the stop loss should actually be here, which is just too much, right? So what I want to wait for is for price to actually take out this particular low. I want to see price take out this particular low here, and then if price takes that out and closes below it, then and only then will I now take my sell trade. My stop loss could now be, yeah, just like 100 pips away. 100 pips away from there. All right. So if price needs to take out this low, close below this, and then my stop loss is gonna be somewhere around here. So guys, our entry price for gold is close below 4,200.46. I repeat, a close below 4,200.46 is a very, very good entry for gold. Our stop loss is going to be at 4213.06. All right, so a close below 4,200.46 is going to be a very, very good opportunity for us to actually sell. All right, and then above our stop loss is going to be above 4,200 to 4,213. All right, how many of us we also like to have, if you would like to have this particular indicator that I'm showing you right now, it's also free of charge. You don't need to pay anything. All you just need to do is to be a client. You need to have some minimum funds in your account. So just speak to your account manager, and then they will tell you the requirements to get this. It's free of charge, and it helps you to really, really understand the levels of the entry zones. So for somebody like me that trade with entry zones, it's very, very useful for me. Very, very useful for me. Very, very useful. And if you're somebody like that too, that trade price action 100%, you will love it. You will love it. It's very useful. Any instrument, it gives you very, very accurate levels, and it doesn't retest, doesn't repaint rather. It's very, very useful. As price is making new levels of support and is tracking them, it's putting them there, you're seeing them. Okay. Just tell your account manager that you want the support and resistance templates from Precious, and then they will get to me. And then I'll share it with them. They share it with you. It's free of charge. Okay, so guys, let's just quickly pay attention. So guys, one more time, our entry price. Let me just put it on the chat group. Our entry price for gold, we are taking a sell. So good, I'm preferring a sell preference. All right, entry is close. We are entering if price closes close below 4,200.46. Our SL is going to be at 4,213.06. TP, you can leave it open, but remember to always get out of the trade as, let me put it in brackets. So TP, you can leave it open, but break even. Make sure you break even at 100 pips in profits. So break even at 100 pips. So if price moves maybe back to this point, you need to break even on your trade. So I've dropped that already. So if you're trading gold, please pay attention to that. I don't want to use a buy stop because, like I said, people would have been trapped in this movement right now if they actually use the buy stop. So that's why I don't like using pending order for most of the times. I like to wait to say a break, a close below, a close above, then take my trade when I'm really seeing that price is actually not, not trying to manipulate me into the trade, and then taking out my stop loss and then going in my direction at the end of the day. So it's very, very annoying. All right. However, which anyway, looking at this, let's not even just go there. Let's just leave it as at a sell. I was trying to see if we can actually take a buy if price close big up here also. It's also a good option, but now let's just leave it as a sell, and then so that we don't get confused. Okay. So the next instrument I'm looking at right now, based on our request, is, let me go and check, USDJPY. USDJPY has also been giving me some very massive profits, guys. On Monday, Monday was really, really, really good. Monday was really good for USDJPY. I mean, for me, it was really, really good. I've been selling for a while, and all these movements, I was able to get all these movements on Monday. Look at the date when this movement moved. You discover that this was around first to second of December, which was Monday to Tuesday. It was really massive. And then we've seen this push to the upside between yesterday and today. Price has been pushing back up, and of course, probably coming back to retest this trend line here. Excuse me. So price has been pushing back to retest this. You can see this classic retest, and we are also seeing some level of, so that was a first breakout there, if I'm gonna put that correctly. So we are seeing what's happening in the 4-hour time frame. This has been happening for a very, very long time. So we expect maybe a breakout soon, downside soon. But on this instrument, I would like us to take a break, and actually, I want to take a break rather, and I want to. This is looking good, guys. For example, let me just tell you what I'm seeing, right? This is what I'm seeing, right? I'm seeing a sell trade right now. My stop loss is just going to be around here, which is from my entry. If I'm entering now anyway, it's going to be around 58 pips. Let's go to 5 minutes. Hold on. So that's very, very far. That's very far. Okay, so let's assume I'm taking the trade right now and my stop loss is just around here, right? So I'm actually risking around 20 pips there. Let's say 21 pips plus spread. Let's say 22, 23 pips, right? To make so the next point, what I want to make is I'm expecting price to push back to this point. Share is about 100 pips. If it is 1:5, it's a 1:5 trade. If it plays out, and we're taking this trade from the 1 hour, from the 4 hours, not even 1 hour actually, from the 4 hour time frame. Taking this trade from the 4 hour time frame. But I want to hear some of our analysis. What do you think about USDJPY? I want to hear from us. Like I said, I don't want to do this alone this morning. So I have Mr. Amish in the house. I have Mr. Damilola Yusuf. I have Descartes already in the house. Mr. Humphrey, Mr. Jonathan. I have Mr. Michael Vincent. I have Mr. Gilbert. I have Oge. You're welcome. Good morning to you. You're welcome. I think it's my first time seeing Oge. So I think first time comer, you're welcome. I really appreciate the fact that you're here. I can also see Mr. Lutayo. I'm seeing Pauline. Puleng, we have Puleng in the house. We have Mr. Vincent, and we also have Malga at the top, Mr. Israel. So, guys, what do you think? I want somebody, anybody, everybody. What do you think about? You can, if you want to speak, you can unmute your mic. Let me see if I can quickly help us to do that. So, yeah, I've given you the power to unmute. All right. So you can unmute if you want to speak. If you want to type it out in the chat, please do. So let's take like 2 to 3 minutes to actually basically look at this instrument USDPY. What do we think about it? Me, I'm seeing a sell, but what do you see? Right. Maybe wait for us to give me some level of feedbacks. You can check this on your phone. If you're using your phone to join this meeting, you can. If you want to analysis, you can check this on your phone. If you want me to go, if you want to do it here and you want me to go to a higher time frame or a lower time frame, whatever the case may be, just let me know. Then I'm gonna really so I can move to where you want me to move to. But I want us to actually contribute towards this instrument this morning. Though it's pretty slow right now. If you see what price is doing, it's not really looking so volatile right now, right? It's taking its time to build up momentum. I have a feedback from Puleng already. She said it looks like a sell. It looks like a sell. All right, thank you so very much, Puleng, for that feedback. Thank you so very much. Yeah, what do we think, guys? What do we think? What do we think? I'm still waiting for more feedbacks. Um, Still waiting for more feedbacks.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Go ahead.
To me, seeing is still, but not an instant sell. I believe it should um go up to that resistance line you drew there, that trend resistance line you drew there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
mm,
yes, yes. To get there and maybe give us um a good signal for itself. If it doesn't break through it, if it closes below, if you see a
mm,
close below and maybe something like a bearish engulfing pattern or or something like that, then we can go for a sell at that
Mm.
point.
All right,
So
thank you so
that's my
much,
own.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Mr. Humphrey. That was a very, very insightful contribution. I really appreciate your contribution. I hope we all heard him. So in summary, what he's saying is that um, he would probably wait for price to push back to this point, like what he did here, and then give us something like this. This was so sweet. Oh my God. This was so sweet, right? This would have been so perfect when price pushed up there, gave us this bearish pin bar, gave us another bearish engulfing pattern, even multiple signals, too many signals, right? And then pushed away to the downside. This push to the downside should be around how many pips? Let's assume we took our trade around this point. This is about 37 pips already in profit if we have taken that trade, right? So what Mr. Humphrey generally is saying is if we get that kind of opportunity again, to be perfect, to be nice. Before I actually give my like what I think about that, let me quickly hear from one more person. So, is there anybody who would like to speak? One more person before we look at it generally. All right. So basically, if you look at this instrument, you discover that, like I said, price actually trading towards what's called a trade channel. So this thing I drew, this thing on the 4 hour time frame is actually called a trade channel. If you don't know what it is, it means that price is respecting a particular channel. We have this as a support and this as a resistance, and price is just respecting those two flows. So we know that there's a bound to be a breakout because this is a downward flag, right? So we see this. This is the pull of the flag. So we call this downward flag. This is the pull of the flag, right? This is price pushing up. This is the pull, and then we can see this. So eventually, most likely than not, we'll see a break to the upside. Anytime there's a downward flag like that, eventually you would see price breaking back to the upside. Eventually, price breaking back to the upside. Textbook example anyway. All right. So most of the times you see price breaking to the upside, but not all the time. There's no 100% in trading. If there's 100% in trading, most of us would have, you can't predict price. That's the beauty of this business. You cannot predict. You can't say this is because it did this last week. It has been doing this for 10 years. It's gonna A lot of people who had that mentality crashed out the last 1 year now because market has really changed. The dynamics of market has really changed from what we used to know. So market keeps changing based on behavioral patterns, based on people's behavior, based on what market is doing real time, and you just need to know how to take advantage of it. Now, this is my own take on USJPY. Now, we all agree that it's a sell. What we are looking at is, okay, where do we actually sell from? Where is our entry point for this trade? Well, if you look at what price has done, we see that there's a push. There has been a push to the downside, which we all know that anytime price pushes like this and gives us a level of support, because it's a minor level of support right now. This is a minor level of support. So what we have here right now is a minor level of support, right? So we are seeing price, giving some level of momentum. We know it's going to break it, we know, but it's giving us a low right now, right? So of course that momentum is going to be probably building back to this upside, and where it is building to is also very, very important. So we want to pay attention to these levels. We want to pay attention to these points where price has actually just broken. We saw a little gap down from here. Can we see this gap down? Where this market closed, it's not where this one opened from. There was this. Let me quickly increase this in case you're using your phone. So you can see this. Where this one closed is where this one opened from and continued. Where this one closed is where this one opened from and continued. But if you look at this, you discover that where this closed is not where this one opened from. Normally, this candle should have opened from somewhere like here and then coming down. But this candle closed here, and we saw this jump to the downside. This is called a gap down, right? So price gapped down to the downside and then gave us this particular candle. And then all of a sudden, after that momentum, after that very, 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 very good momentum on the 4 hour time frame, we are seeing price pushing on the 4 hour time frame. Don't forget, most likely than not, pushing back right now. So It tells you just like what Mr. Humphrey was trying to describe, that markets most likely be pushing up. Markets would most likely be pushing up, to retest this particular point, again, coming back to this trend line again, most likely than not. So what I want to do, if what I think we can do is to, what I think we can do is to have what is called a sell limit, right? Have a sell limit. You can have a sell limit for this instrument. You can have a sell limit. So a sell limit is going to help us to be able to pinpoint that trade, and be able to, take advantage of what price wants to do. So what I'm going to be going for, if at all, is a selling me. But if you have the time, like Mr. Humphrey, to actually look at this price, why not? You can wait for it to give you a very good entry by waiting for it to actually go there, do the whole retesting, and then push back down. But if you don't have the time, you can just save yourself the stress of doing that and then go for a sell limit. So what I want to do is I want to go to the 5 minutes time frame. I'm hoping that price we're waiting for price to actually push into this point so I can reduce this particular entry price to somewhere around here, right? And then our stop loss for this trade is just going to be around here. So the stop loss becomes very, very tight. Stop loss becomes very, very tight. So we're risking about 10 pips. Let me reduce this a bit. So risking about 10 pips. Okay. So what I want to do right now is to give us the price. Let me just type the price out. So for USD JPY, we have a sell limit. But please watch this trade because it might not get to that point. I'm seeing somewhere on the 5 minutes time frame. Let me show you. I'm seeing this on the 5 minutes time frame. Yeah. On the 5 minutes time frame, I can see that price might actually just come here and reverse back down. So you want to really pay attention. Okay, so you might not get here, but at the same time, if we put our our sell limit here, we're risking more. We're risking about 17 pips thereabout. So let's just leave it where it is. All right, so our entry is at 155.858. That's and our SL is going to be at 159. Sorry, 155.968. TP, like I used to say, leave it open, but make sure that you're monitoring your trade and break even. Make sure you break even at maybe 20 pips. Break even at 20 pips. All right, so I've dropped that trade. So USJPY, we're all agreeing that it's a sell, but we are waiting for price to push up a little bit to give us a very good entry for the sell so that we are not trapped in price. Okay. Hold on, please. Now, let's quickly look at D30 from Poulenc and quickly see what's happening around D30. D30, I've been saying this for a long time, right? Also, price is actually pushing back to the upside if you look at this. But let's quickly use, I don't want to draw too many lines, so let's just quickly use my indicator. So yeah, you can see. It just gives me everything I need. So this is on the daily time frame. So that D30 actually came back to this verified level of support. It's pushing away right now towards this verified resistance, which is just pretty straightforward. If you look at D30 true, if you look at it true and true, you discover that for few months right now, price has just been consolidating around this region. This is all a consolidation. You understand? This is all a consolidation. So it's no rocket science that price is going to actually come back here eventually. It's just been moving this way. And don't forget this D30, right? This D30. I told you market doesn't really push down so much. Look at what happened here. Anytime we see a push down, there's always a correction almost immediately. You know, market doesn't really push down that much. But when there is a massive push down, it's always time for investors take advantage of that to actually buy at a cheaper rate, and that pushes the price up eventually. So, and then what pushed it down doesn't last long. Eventually, it would correct. Eventually, it would, except it's something that is very, very serious. Maybe like a, we're not praying for bad, but let's assume that there's a war outbreak, and that's where we're going to be seeing some very, very massive down movement, and the price might remain down for a long time, right? But for now, everywhere is still good, so D30 is still looking very good. Anyway, based on what's going on right now on D30, let me just take out this. If you go to the 4-hour time frame, you discover that price is currently at this untested resistance, approaching this untested resistance. It has gotten there the first time, pushed back down to this verified support, pushed up here. Guys, I really want us to have this indicator. It's so nice. It makes this work so easy, and it makes your analysis easy. Although you can only use it on the laptop. Let me just quickly say that. You can't use it on the phone, okay? So you need to have a laptop to install it. Okay, anyway, we need to see a break above this before we can actually take this trade. And there's every possibility that if price gets to this, we might see a reversal. So two things I'm expecting is, number one, I'm preferencing a buy above this zone. So if we see a buy above this zone, then of course a buy above this zone is going to give us a very good entry. But price could actually reject this zone also and then begin to push back down. So if you also see a rejection, very good rejection like what we saw here, it's also a good time to sell. But I'm actually preferencing a buy. So I would really not pay attention to any sells right now, except I see a break of maybe this swing low here. But like I said, it depends on how you look at it. You can actually jump in for a sell very quickly and scalp the trade down, and then take advantage of that short momentum, and then just make some quick money or quick buck and then move out. But it's all about how you trade. How I trade is I like to always keep things simple. I don't like to stress myself. Fear of missing out on all those things. I don't like to do that. I like to follow the trend. It makes it easier for me to actually take more trades and win more trades. It's very easy when you're following the trend and you're not actually trading against the trend. We have alchemy traders, they call themselves alchemy traders, so trade reversal patterns and but the way I see trading is I see it as a very good business that helps you. I mean, that gives you profit when you are actually with the market, when you are actually trading along the market, not against it. All right, so what I want to wait to see is a break above structure. I want to see price breaking above 23936.4. Then my stop loss could be below structure, just around here, 23818.6. And then my take profits, of course, could be at this weak resistance here, just before the weak resistance at 24124.5. This is a 1:2, 1:1.6, 1.7 trade, which is not bad. So we're risking about, so this is only 1 hour time frame anyway. So we are risking about uh, 315 pips to make something around 190 pips. So it's about 1:1.7 thereabouts. All right, guys. So this is what I think of D30. And like I said, if you trade reversals, you can take advantage of what's going on right now. This is looking like a reversed head and shoulder pattern where we have the head and then we have the shoulders. Can we see this? So this is the head on the 1 hour time frame anyway. This is the head, shoulder one, shoulder two. We call it head and shoulder pattern. All right. So what it means is that price has gotten here the first time, got rejected. Price gave us a false breakout, came back down with so much momentum, and then price pushed to that same point again, and then we can see price struggling to break that point. So if we see a very strong reversal candle, this helps end us as a bearish pin bar, and then we see another bearish candle immediately after this, then that tells us, confirms to us that is a head and shoulder pattern, and most likely than not, probably price is actually going to be going down. So if you trade reversals, you can take advantage of that quickly, jump into the trade, make some quick scalp trades on it, and then make some very good profits. And then your stop loss, of course, can be at 23936.4, since that is your entry for your buy, and then you make some very good money on this. So Oleg, you can screenshot this and you get to the analysis. It's very simple, straightforward. Two things we're waiting for. Number one, if this gives us a head and shoulder pattern, take a sell from here when we see a very, very good bearish candle and this has to be rejected. This has to be a bearish pin bar at the end of this 1 hour. By 10 o'clock, this has to end up as a bearish pin bar. 10 o'clock Nigerian time anyway. So if that doesn't end as a bearish pin bar and price still looks very bullish, then this has been violated. You need to wait for a breakout for a buy. But if this ends as a bearish pin bar and then we get another bearish candle, this gives you a very good confirmation for a sell, and you can scalp that sell probably to this level. Let me mark out that level for you. You can scalp that sell to 2355.4, with your stop loss at 23936.4. This is still a 1:2 trade. It's 1:2.3. All right, about 1:2.3. Okay, so it's all about how you see the trade. It's all about how you are looking at it. So the second scenario, of course, is price violating here, going up, breaking above, and then you're taking your buy, your stop loss here, your take profit at 24124.5. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, and it's going to be a very, very good trade if you are able to pay attention to that. Moving on to our last instrument for today, which is GBP USD. GBP USD on the 1 hour time frame has finally given us the okay, that's not actually giving us on Monday. We still saw this major, this whole consolidation, and then we took our trade around this from this point on Monday, if you remember, and it's been a very massive bullish move, but price is still not out yet. There's still a lot of things happening around here. Let's quickly put on our indicator just to indicate the levels. I don't want to be drawing too many lines. So if you look at these levels, you discover that this is what we're looking at. But let's quickly jump to the 4-hour time frame to really look at this properly. On the 4-hour time frame, we can see already that price is trying to come to this point, which has gotten to many times. First time, second time, the third time price is approaching that particular level right now. Okay, so what you want to do around here is you want to pay attention to this particular level. GBP USD price is actually on a bullish momentum. If you look at it from the daily time frame, we can see this is actually very, very, very bearish, if you ask me. But we have seen a break of structure around this particular point here. So this break of structure, can you see this? We saw the break of structure and we saw the retest. So price broke this structure, retested this, and then it's pushing higher now. And the reason why price has been trying to break this point and has been failing is because anytime price violates this zone now, we are officially back to the upward trend. So price needs to take out this low, which, well, it was formerly a low, but it's now a turncoat resistance. Price needs to take that resistance point, that turncoat resistance point, for this to officially become an upward momentum trend. This has changed, but it has not fully changed. It has not fully formed, right? So we need to see a break of this particular which is now a resistance, which was formerly a low. We need to see a break of this resistance point here for this to now become officially an upward trend, maybe trending back to this level or back to this levels, whatever the case may be, right? So we're not still out yet. So that being said, on the 1 hour time frame, if you're trading GBP USD, you want to pay attention. Right now, I'm seeing a massive consolidation around this zone, around these 2 points. What's going on? Okay, so I'm seeing a massive consolidation around this point. If I should mark this out properly, though this was a false breakout, if you ask me, so I'm just going to put it here. This whole thing was a false breakout, and then we'll see price pushing away from that. So we are seeing price coming back here again right now, and this has been happening for a long period of time. Since 26th of November, we have been seeing this bounce up, bounce down, bounce up, bounce down, bounce up, bounce down. So there's every high possibility that if price comes here again, price could be pushing back to the downside from 132,705. All right, so guys, we do on GBP USD. I am preferencing 2 trades, buy and sell, but it all depends on what price does around this zone. It all depends on what price does and gives those here. So pay attention. Pay attention. It's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. Guys, all you just need to do is to pay attention. So what are we waiting for? If price gets to this zone now and gives us something like this, pin bar, bearish pin bar, bullish engulfing, bearish engulfing, jump into your sell, your stop loss just above here. Or price gives us something like this in evening star, and even if this candlestick formation is actually a reversal pattern. Anyway, if you get an evening star or a doji pattern around here, guys, jump into yourself very fast, put your stop loss here. So price is approaching that level now. So we can't take any trade right now like this now. We can't enter any trade right now. What we are waiting for is price to actually complete this movement, right? Get to this particular point it wants to get to. It's already almost there. Once price gets to this point now, forget about this verified resistance. Once price gets to this point now, or around this zone, wherever the case may be, once price enters into this zone now, anywhere around this zone, and gives us what I've just said, an inverted hammer, a bearish engulfing pattern, an evening star, a doji, whatever the case may be. This is an evening star, a doji. Let me look for what doji looks like. This is a doji. This is what the doji looks like. Sometimes it can be black, sometimes it can be green. This is a doji. So we have gravestone doji. This is very good. This is a classic example. Let me increase this. This is a classic example of a doji, guys. It's like a cross. Most times they don't have color, right? So if we see those kind of candles around this zone, or majorly when price pushes into this point, into this zone, and then we see this particular thing happening, then it's a very good time for you to take yourself. Your stop loss is just going to be placed above here, maybe 12, 15, 20 pips away from here. Since it's GBP USD can be very volatile, so 20 pips will be better. And then you take profit, of course, you're pushing it down. And then you're, of course, breaking even once you get to 20 pips in profit also, so that you can get out of that trade you can reduce the risk. You can reduce the risk, and then your take profit is going to be at 1.31979. All right, so that's all for GBP USD. So pay attention for GBP USD. I don't want to give us a sell limit because price might likely break this. This is like how many times it's attempting to break this point, and with the volatility right now, price might likely break it and close above. So if we see a close above this, a very good bullish close above, then it tells you that you need to take your buy. So that will be a buy scenario, and then your stop loss will look here, take profits, at the next zone of resistance. Trading is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Doesn't really need you to be. It doesn't need to be so complicated. Although what is complicated for me might not be complicated for other people. I teach a lot of strategies on trading, other blogs, SMC. Even there's a new one in town now, Alchemy Trading. There was institutional trading too. I teach a lot of strategies, a lot. I've taught a lot of people a lot of strategies, but what works for me is keeping everything simple. It's at the end of the day, it's all about the fact that are you making profit or not? Are you profitable? That's it. It doesn't matter the terms that you use. It doesn't matter how knowledgeable you are. It doesn't matter if you are a chartist. It doesn't matter. What matters is, are you profitable? Are you profitable? That's what matters. Are you profitable? Are you profitable? That's all that matters, right? So guys, I'm going to be seeing us on Monday. This week has been a bang. I know that today is also going to be a bang. So let's quickly go over all the trades we've taken, or the trades we're looking at. We looked at USDJPY. We look at USDJPY and we are expecting price to actually push to this point for us to take a sell. We're looking for sell opportunities. We looked at gold. That was our first instrument that we looked at. It was our first instrument, and we said price is going to consolidating. We want to see a push above or a push below for us to take our trade, right? And then we also looked at GBP USD. We are seeing price already pushing to this point. Once price gets here, we're waiting for price to actually give us a very good entry. And then we looked at D30. D30 is still struggling. We have 3 minutes to go for this candle to close. And if this closes as a bearish pin bar, this could be a classic head and shoulder pattern. And then price could actually jump down or push down, and you could scalp that to the downside and then take your trade. And eventually, when price eventually breaks this place 23936.4, it's also a good time to actually buy if it closes above it, and then you sell. Your stop loss is here, take profit is above. I've dropped all the entry prices for your JPY and the rest on the charts for this Zoom class. We're going to be uploading this live today on YouTube. I want to thank everybody who has participated. Mr. Humphrey, who gave his own very, very insightful view, and Puleng, who also contributed, and everybody from Mr. Vincent, to Mr. Israel, to Mr. Lutayo, Mr. Jonathan, Madam Itunola, thank you so much for joining us. Happy to see you. Mr. Danola, you also so very much. Selene Bassi, I see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Angel Gabriel, I see you. I see you. All right, so guys, thank you so very much. I'm going to be seeing us on Monday next week, and don't forget, we're going to be possibly. I'm going to announce it if we're going to be doing that, so don't worry. I'm going to be seeing us on Monday next week for another wonderful time. Let's make sure to take advantage beyond just making money from all these trades. It's also very, very important that we are learning. That's the idea. That's the whole idea. Learning from how these classes have been taken. I'm not just teaching you, I'm not just giving you fish, I'm actually teaching you how to get fish. It's easy for me to just give you signals without analyzing anything, right? But I'm going through the stress of analyzing, telling you how I see the market, because you could learn one or two things from me, right? I could learn one or two things from you. And I have seen a lot of traders making a lot of huge mistakes. People thinking trading is all about how smart you are, how you can outsmart the market. It doesn't exist. There's no outsmarting the market. You need to actually understand the markets, understand the language, and know how it passes its information. All right. So I'm going to be seeing us on Monday. Let's have a wonderful day ahead. I love you all. God bless you.